it's quite admirable. Thank you so much. Our next ecosystem is Minnesota. The managing director of Launch Minnesota, Neela, will be presenting the startup ecosystem of Minnesota. Well, there's so much to say about Minnesota, but I will let Neela Neela, yeah, great, to take on the floor and present the ecosystem. Thank you.
Hello, wonderful to be with everyone today. Let me share my screen and we can get started. All right. Launch Minnesota was spearheaded just in 2019 by the state of Minnesota's Department of Employment and Economic Development. We are empowering and elevating our state's innovation ecosystem. Launch Minnesota helps make Minnesota the best place to start and scale new ventures by providing access to capital, statewide connectivity, and expertise. But before I tell you more about what we do, I want to talk a little bit more about Minnesota and entrepreneurs who live here. The size of Minnesota is the same as the United Kingdom. The population is the same as Ireland, and we are in the top 30 for world economies. Minnesota is consistently recognized for its high quality of life, receiving awards for best state to raise a family and the least stressed state in the country, along with numerous other attributes. Minnesota also has a long history of being a place where good ideas begin and grow. We pioneered the open heart surgery, supercomputing, we've invented hearing aids, the pacemaker, and the birthplace of Post-it notes. We are the #1 Fortune 500 per capita so that is a real unique value proposition for our state. Many look to the coast when they look at the United States, but I encourage you not to overlook the Midwest and Minnesota. In 2021, we had a record year of venture capital raise, and businesses that start here stay here. We have one of the highest 5-year business survival rates, and proud to report that the Twin Cities is now ranked 4th globally as an emerging ecosystem and 2nd in the United States. We are really trying with partners across the state to make it easier for innovative companies to find answers and plug into the resources. We, with Launch Minnesota, have created a model where we're really putting the entrepreneurs and the innovators at the center, and that is our key focus. We work to build out regional and a statewide innovation ecosystem by connecting and convening and catalyzing government partners, higher ed institutions, investors, corporate innovators, and multiple entrepreneur support organizations to help our entrepreneurs succeed at every stage of their journey. And we do this by focusing on 3 really key areas. First is we want to increase access to capital. And we're proudly put a lot of capital in the hands of our startups. To date, in just under 3 years, we've given out $6 million in grants to about 150 startups. They have gone on to raise millions and millions of dollars, and our return on investment for those grants is $9 for every dollar we've invested. We also work with our investor community. We have various tax credits and other types of funding to make it easier for our startups in Minnesota to succeed. And we're proud to report that 100% of our grantees said that our grants and our support has helped propel their business forward. In addition to capital, we are also creating a collaborative culture by bringing together these various sectors that I shared, communities and across the state, to build a Launch Minnesota network, which is a hub and spoke model. We know that a strong network increases the rate and the success of new business formation. And in just a recent study with our partners, we've already increased that connectivity at a local, regional, and statewide level by over 20%. And proud to report last year that the United States Small Business Administration, we were 1 in 4 in the nation to receive the Super Connector Award. And last, what we focus on is really expanding the entrepreneurial talent and expertise through education and mentorship. I am really proud about the traction we've seen in a few years, though we know that there's more work to be done to make Minnesota the place that, to best start and scale a business. We're happy to join you today, and this was just a high-level overview. So please reach out with any questions that you might have and how to learn more even about Minnesota. Thank you, and enjoy the remaining of the day.
Thank you, Neela. It was great to hear about Minnesota startup ecosystem. Just to add on what you mentioned, to not really focus on the West Coast. We just, on the rankings 5 years ago, San Francisco was 5 times higher than the second top ranking ecosystem in the world. Now it's less than 3 times. So you see that the other ecosystems like Minnesota, Charlotte, Baltimore, they're catching up. They are attracting the talent, the investment, and the United States talent pool is not only San Francisco anymore. And it's great to have ecosystems and organizations such as Launch Minnesota that are doing so much to bridge that gap. Thank you, and have